Good morning, everybody. I'm back. I've been doing these lives while I drive, just in case you've been wondering, because driving has always been my thinking time. It's therapeutic for me. And I don't know, if that's how it is for you, leave me a comment. And the reason I am doing this to myself, I'm challenging myself, because in this last year, to be very honest, I pretty much gave up on putting myself out there and showing up in social personally, because just the state of things, I guess not being happy with the state of things. And it's like when you're in like that funk, it's like you just feel like bleh, and you can't show up, or you can, but you feel like you can't show up and be your best or put your best forward. And so I have a little funny story. Just like yesterday, I was talking about driving and focus. So today I'm talking about showing up authentically. And I have a little story about being authentic. And last year, and some of my friends on here I used to work with, last year, in case you didn't know, I did work for a period of time at a dealership here locally. Now, for those of you who don't know, I live on the East Coast in Virginia Beach, and came from Hawaii, born and raised in the small town of Kona. And in Hawaii, culturally, we're very different. Very, 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 very different. A lot more slow pace, laid back. And to find people that are very ambitious is a challenge in Hawaii. Not to say people aren't, it's just a little fewer and far between. So coming from Hawaii and then being thrown into the East Coast speed, I traveled here since 2015, and I'm a chameleon. I just kind of blend right into my environment typically. So I can go from country girl up in the mountains to city girl, and blend right in. But my experience, my story that I was going to tell you about, was working at a dealership. Now, for those of you that are familiar with car sales, in the sales industry, it is a dog-eat-dog, sharky kind of world out there. But I'm a car enthusiast, love cars, have bought many, many, many cars in my life, and love Hondas. So I was like, I'm up for a challenge. I'm always down to take on a challenge and do something that will, not just make me feel uncomfortable, but it will also help me to grow and push myself to be better. And so for me, I saw that, as a challenge to put myself in a place that it's not only a tough industry to be in, but I'm also on the East Coast where people are moving fast and more demanding and all of that. So working in that environment, do I have stories? But I don't have enough time to share all of those. But I'm going to get moving here. So working in that environment, in this place, it really put the pressure on me to like really evolve myself and really learn how to just speak and be direct and just like do things. And it's funny because I was literally the most like laid back person in there. Now, not that it didn't help me, as far as I'm very good with authentically connecting with people and making them feel comfortable and doing all of that. And so I had a very good time meeting people and doing the sales and doing that transactional part of it, because my customers ended up loving me and loved working with me. But on the flip side, when you're trained a certain specific way to do things in a certain specific process, and it's expected to be done in a certain way, but it just did not fit with me, it made me feel yucky and uncomfortable and like cringy, because I was like, oh God, I don't want to do that to people. I don't want to chase people down and be like, oh, come on, you have to come in with me and you have to do this. And it's like, I can be direct and to a degree, but when it just becomes yucky to me, I'm like, ugh, I just feel gross about what I'm doing, and it doesn't feel authentic to me and who I am. So I struggled with that a lot, because on one hand, I have customers that love me and want to do business with me, but on the flip side, I had bosses cussing me out and telling me, you know, why the fuck aren't you doing this, that, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed, you know, the list of things. I'm not going to go into specifics. And I'm like, well, you know, and it's like, it puts you in a very kind of a, you know, just like, it feels like a toxic environment. I mean, I don't want to put it to that extreme, but, you know, to be truthful. And it made it very hard for me to just be myself and do what I did and how I love to do things. And that's one thing I'm extremely grateful for, is that culturally, growing up in Hawaii, there's a thing called aloha spirit. You know, we are raised around many families to be conscientious of other people and caring about, you know, how we're acting and how it's affecting others. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's just a part of me, and I've accepted that. But the downside of that I've learned, my lesson through that was, even though that is not a bad thing, it can be a detrimental thing depending on the environment you're in. So if you're picking up what I'm trying to put down here, I had to shift myself and to comply with management, and at the same time try to find a balance of still being me and who I am, because I did not feel comfortable ever being you know, I didn't like people to not trust me, because people, you know, when they put their trust in me and they're extremely nervous with that type of transaction, and, you know, it's uncharted waters for them, you know, maybe it's their first car and they're young, or they've been burned before from dealerships. I understood, and I truly took it to heart to make sure that everything I did was right for them. And So showing up authentically to me was far more important than complying to, oh, the boss wants me to do this. Oh, I'm supposed to bring them in and make them meet the manager, and they have to, talk to them and meet them first, because they basically want to freaking lock you in to the commitment, right? To work the numbers, all that kind of stuff, to get the process going. So just a little insider. But when I truly felt in my heart, in my gut, that someone was not there and not really truly ready, I wasn't about to go and put somebody in a situation that was going to hurt them in the long run. I wasn't about that, just to make a sale. Like that, to me, I still, to this day, I can't fathom how people consciously do that. So, it became very wearing for me. Although the money was very good, the potential was there, it was very emotionally draining. And there comes a point in whatever you're doing, whether it be a job, whether it be a business, that you have to sit back and ask yourself, am I being authentic to who I am? Even though I'm growing and evolving and trying to be better at this, am I showing up in an authentic way? And that's where it got for me. And so I knew at that point I had to really think things through and figure out what I was going to do. So my encouragement to you today is show up authentically. Even though things are uncomfortable, it's okay to try new things. It's okay to stretch yourself. And it's good to do that. Very good, because you learn a lot of lessons through it. But at the end of the day, be who you truly are. Do all that you can so that you can have everything you've ever hoped and wished for. And I believe it will come through for you. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you tune into the replay, let me know. Take care, you guys. Bye.